Hello everybody and welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing this pink cranberry smoky eye on Ashley. I really loved how this turned out and she loved it as well. So of course, let's go ahead and get started. So first I'm going in with moisturizer. I'm using my Kiehl's Ultra Facial Moisturizer. You guys know I love this stuff and I love it, of course, to not only moisturize the skin, but it does have the ingredient glycerin in it, which is really important when it comes to holding down your face products, and it's just a great added step in making sure all your face products stay on all day. Then to go ahead and prime her eyes, I'm using the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Original. I'm going to go ahead and put this on her eyelids as you see me doing here, and then I'm going to blend it out with my finger. Next, to go ahead and put kind of a blank canvas on her eyes, I'm going in with the LA Girl Pro Conceal in Natural. I'm going to go ahead and just blend this all on her lid and then going in and setting it with my Laura Mercier translucent powder. You want to make sure you don't put too much concealer because you don't want it to crease, of course, so I do put just a slight amount across her eyelid. I have been doing this recently with my clients and I really do love it, so just applying the concealer all over and then I set it with my translucent powder. To start off with shadows, I'm going in with the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going to take Tempura, which is the color all the way in the upper left. This is going to be the brow bone highlight, so applying this right underneath the brow, I'm going to go ahead and press it in, and then I do blend it down into her eyes. For the transition, I'm going to go in with my Huda Beauty palette, and I'm taking Sandalwood. I'm going to go ahead and put the majority of the pigment in the outer corner of her eye, and then I do blend it into the crease and into the inner corner of her eye. But like I said, I'm putting the majority of the shadow pigment in the outer corner. Going back into the Huda Beauty palette, I'm going to take the shade Bossy and I'm going to put this right into the crease as well. Like I said, again, putting the majority of the pigment in the outer corner, but I do blend it into the inner corner as you see me doing here. This color is going to go mainly right into her crease, but I do blend it up slightly, and then I do like to go back in with my big fluffy brush just to make sure that all those colors are blended together. Next, I'm going to be taking Makeup Geek Cherry Cola, and this is going to be a really nice deep shade that I'm applying right to that outer corner of her eye, kind of the outer V. I am applying the majority, again, of the shadow in the outer corner, and I do slightly blend it just into the crease, just a little bit, just of course so that the shadows all blend together, but the majority of this pigment and shadow, again, is going to be going in the outer corner. I'm also making sure that I place this shadow on the outer corner of her lid, not really bringing it any higher into the crease. Then I'm going to go in with MAC Embark, and this is going to go mainly right in that outer V. I'm just adding a little bit just to go ahead and layer the shadows together, just to make it a little bit smoky, a little bit smoky. Again, you want to make sure that all the shadows are blended together, but again, I love to layer shadows, as you guys know. Then we are going to go in with black to really make this look smoky. I'm using Anastasia Noir, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply a little bit of that in the outer corner, and then back with my brush again, just to make sure that the black is blended in, because of course black is a very harsh shadow. You want to make sure that it's really nice and blended. Then I'm going to go in with this MAC paint pot. I believe it's called Chilled as Ice or Chilled on Ice. I'm going to go ahead and take this shadow and apply it kind of like as a base on her lid. It's a really nice sparkly shade, so I really love it to add it, you know, kind of as a base and then go in with any kind of shadow. So on top, I'm going in with Fling from the Huda Beauty palette again. So as you can see, I'm just pressing it right on top of that eyeshadow base, going back and forth, just really making sure that I press it in and that it sticks to the eyeshadow base. Once that is down, I'm then going to go ahead and create a line. I'm not going to do winged liner today. I'm just going to go ahead and create a line on her lash line just to go ahead and blend in the lashes. And then what I do go ahead and do is go in with black shadow and just blend the black shadow onto the outer corner of the liner, just so that the liner blends in with the eye look and it's not just a stark, you know, harsh line. Then I'm going to go ahead and clean up her under eyes just to get rid of all the fallout or any kind of shadow fallout that we had. And then I'm going to go ahead and prime her face while I let her lash glue get tacky. For primer, I'm going to go in with one of my favorites, which is the Hourglass Veil Primer. I love this primer. I think it is by far one of my favorite primers on the market. So I'm going to go ahead and just blend this into her face. It is so smooth. It's so silky smooth. Everyone always comments about how nice this primer feels on the skin. So like I said, applying this all over her face. And usually once I've applied primers, that's when the glue is tacky for the lashes. So then we apply our lashes. For today, I'm going to be using the Kiss lashes in number 11, which I love because they flare out at the end. And I believe that they're really, really complimentary, especially on Ashley's eye shape. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply these lashes, and then we'll go ahead and do foundation. For foundation, I'm mixing these two. These are the Too Faced Born This Way foundations in light beige and warm beige. I'm actually going to be doing 2 pumps of warm beige and 1 pump of light beige, and that will give me her perfect color. So I go ahead and apply foundation all over the face, and then going in with my L'Oreal Beauty Blender sponge or beauty sponge, I'm just going to go ahead and blend out her foundation all over. I love the Too Faced Born This Way. It is by far one of my favorite foundations out there, and I'm so happy I got these for my kit recently, so I was really excited to use them out on Ashley. You always want to make sure that when you apply foundation, you do blend it down the neck because you don't want to have any harsh line or any line of demarcation on the jaw. It's always my number one tip, especially when you're doing brides and weddings. You, of course, don't want them to have that foundation line on their chin, so I always like to go ahead and blend it down the neck. For concealer, I don't know what happened to the concealer footage, but I went in with my LA Girl Pro Conceal in Natural just to go ahead and apply it under her eyes. I do then go ahead and go in with my MAC. This is the MAC 287, I believe, just to go ahead and pick up any of the excess concealer, just so there's none that is creasing under her eyes. For liquid contour, I'm going to go in with my Giorgio Armani Liquid Summer Drops. I'm just going to go ahead and apply that on her face, and then, of course, blend it out with my Beauty Blender. I'm using the same one that I used to do her foundation, and I'm applying this, as you can see, on the cheeks, as well as a little bit on her forehead. Ashley doesn't really have that big of a forehead at all, so I just like to go ahead and apply just at the top, so it keeps her skin nice and bronzed. Now we're going to go ahead and set everything. As always, I'm going to be using my Laura Mercier translucent powder. I go in with that same MAC 287 brush that you saw me use before, and I go ahead and get rid of any of the creasing and then setting it with translucent powder. I use my Sigma F35 brush for under the eyes. I also use it for the forehead as well as the smile lines. And then when it comes to the rest of the face, I do switch up my brush with a bigger brush. This is the Sigma F10 blush brush. I'm just going to go ahead and apply powder all over the rest of her face with that. I just wanted to put this clip in so you guys can see what the lashes look like as well as the eye makeup. Very beautiful. So now we're going to go ahead and do the brows. I'm using my Anastasia Brow Wiz in Soft Brown just to go ahead and line her bottom lash line. It really is, I think, just makes a huge difference when you line the lash line. Ashley does have good brows, as you can see, so I do like to just create that line and just fill them in slightly. I will go in with brow powder just to go ahead and fill them in a little bit more, but I like to go in with a brow pencil just to fill in all those sparse areas. And then as you see, I'm going to go ahead and fill in her brows with the Soft Brown Brow Powder by Anastasia. I go in with the lighter color, of course, in her inner part of her brow. And then to go ahead and fill out the tail, I use the darker part of the soft brown. For contour, I'm going to go ahead and use the Hula Bronzer by Benefit. I'm going to go ahead and use my MAC contour brush just to go ahead and chisel out the cheeks and her forehead, and of course just to go ahead and bronze up the skin. So for blush, I'm going to go in with MAC Harmony, and then I'm actually going to go ahead and add a little bit of this pink blush from Makeup Geek. I can't remember what the name of it is off the top of my head, but I will leave it down below for you guys. I love this, and I wanted to just add a little bit of a pink touch to go with her eyes, but the majority of the cheek is Harmony by MAC. For highlighter, I'm going in with Ofra Cosmetics in Rodeo Dry, just to go ahead and apply that right on top of the cheeks as well as her Cupid's bow. Then back to finishing up the eyes, I'm going to go in with Huda Beauty Sandalwood again and just apply this along the lower lash line. I'm using my Sigma E45 brush just to go ahead and apply this from the outer corner all the way to the inner corner. Then going in with MAC Embark, I'm taking a short shader brush by Sigma, and I'm going to go ahead and apply this shadow mainly in the outer half of her lower lash line. I do blend this into her inner corner, but again, like I said, with the upper lid, I'm applying the majority of the pigment in the outer corner, and then just taking the brush, I'm going to blend the shadow from the outer corner a little bit into the inner corner without using any shadow, if that makes sense. So again, just really focusing all these shadows in the outer corner, because that's really just going to emphasize and make her eyes look bigger so they're not too dark. Then going in with a pencil brush, I'm going in with Bossy, and this is going to go ahead and blend all those shadows together, and as well bring a little bit of that purpley cranberry shade to the lower lash line just to go ahead and make the whole look one. Then going in and applying gel liner to her waterline, I'm using my Maybelline gel liner in Blackest Black, and I'm taking a winged liner brush just to go ahead and place this right on her waterline. I'm going to go ahead and do this on both sides of her eyes, and then I will go in with a black shadow. Any black that you have will do, and I'm going to go ahead and set the gel liner with the black shadow. I think it's really important to do that because gel liner, if it's not set, since it is a liquid, it will move, it will you know, kind of bleed out. So setting it with a black shadow is really going to help keep the liner in place so you don't lose your liner, or you know, that's always a big tip, or always something that everyone asks me about, how to keep your liner from, you know, kind of disappearing. I always say set it with black shadow because it will keep it in place. I'm also going to go ahead and take that same brush that I used to set the black on her waterline and bring just a little bit of the black right into that outer corner and blend it. Like I said, just because we added black to the upper lid, I wanted to make sure that the whole look was one. So just to add a little bit more smokiness, I'm going as close as I can to the waterline, and then going back in with my pencil brush, I'm just going to go back and forth and blend the black out. I wanted to add a little bit of shimmer to her brow bone, so I'm going in with Nylon by MAC and applying that right to the brow, underneath the brow, as you can see. And then I'm also going to go ahead and apply Nylon as her inner corner highlight. Then we're going to go ahead and apply mascara to the upper lashes. I love using the L'Oreal Voluminous Waterproof because it's perfect for weddings with moms who cry or brides that cry, so you don't want their mascara to run down their face, so I definitely recommend getting waterproof. We're going to go ahead and do the lips and then go back to finishing up the eyes. I am using the ColourPop lip liner in Curvy just to go ahead and line her lips. We're going to go with a nude lipstick today just because I didn't want to go too crazy with the pink overload, so we're going in with a nice warm nude color. For lipstick, I'm going in with Anastasia Stripped and applying that all over her lips. And then for gloss, I'm going in with one of my favorites, which is Fairy Floss by ColourPop. I'm just going to go ahead and apply that all over her lips as well. And then the last step is going to be applying mascara to the lower lashes. I use the L'Oreal Telescopic, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply a coat to her lower lashes. And after that, the look is complete. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know in the comments down below if there are any other looks that you want Ashley and I to do. This was her showing off the look. It looks so pretty. I love it. I hope you guys enjoy. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
was distraught.
Well, I think we have like the same eyes
I thought it would
too.
be credible and honest.
Kind of grainy.
Yeah, they're like they're like in the sun. They're like hazel, but
George changed his will fairly often as he juggled his money around.
Ryan always said he wanted someone like me. I didn't know he really.
The last time he was in, he left everything to his partner, Glenn Baruti.
you got it. Name and all.
George had recently
Wait.
George would change his will on a regular basis.
Color, hair color.